And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. So now for our second guest, allow me to introduce her first. She is a pediatric behavior analyst, and we are going to discuss a very important topic for every household, which is navigating the unique stressors of the current situations with our children at home. We'll be focusing on practical strategies for parents to maintain balance and well-being. With that being said, let's welcome Nour Kaafarani, qualified behavior analyst. First, welcome on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, of course, during these situations, how do you explain, scariness and scary news or scary vibes to children, especially young ones who don't really understand their emotions?
All right, so when you're trying to explain the current situation to your kids, you want to ask them, what do they know, right? You don't want to share things with them that they don't know about. If they're hearing sirens, if they're hearing the news when parents are watching, ask them, what do they know? And then try to navigate it from there.
Now, in terms of navigating from there, like how do you tell them or encourage them to have positive interactions, especially during playtimes? How do you tell them to keep on, I wouldn't say forget about the world, because these are important lessons for them to know and to manage, but to, live with it.
Right, so you want to try to be positive with them. You want to tell them that, oh, your uncle, for example, is there helping. You hear the ambulance, you hear the police. They're out there in the streets helping people. They're making sure everyone is safe, everyone is doing well, right? And in play, you just want to engage them with something they're interested in, right? You don't want to fixate on the negative things that are happening outside. You want to fill in their time with things that are age appropriate, things that they love to engage in and they would enjoy playing with.
And is there, like, I would say, certain kind of techniques like breathing exercises, some type of, play or some specific kind of movement that, if the children feel stressed or scary, they can do this one for a little bit of time so they can forget all about it?
Yeah, for sure. You can try to have a calm corner at home.
Okay.
Of course, a child would have their play area, a section where they play and they engage, whether they're physical activities like hide and seek, building a fort in the living room, maybe having a trampoline at home, things for them to engage and just let their energy out. There are also toys like DIY making Play-Doh, making slime, other toys like squishies, safety toys they can, have and just keep with them when they're feeling overstressed.
It is. And also fear is a very important, survival, I'd say, emotion for a lot of people.
Correct.
And for a lot of children, the reason that they don't really have fears, they didn't have experiences that connect with it.
Right.
So it's always, best to give them the opportunity to develop fear so they can know, oh, this is a feeling, this is how I'm going to react to it. But it also, you want to provide them with a safe environment to have all of these risky kind of plays. So how do you balance all of this? How do you give them a safe environment, but allowing them to take certain kind of risk?
Right, so you can do something called supervised autonomy, where you are exposing them to that environment where they're taking risks. You're slowly building their independence as well. You don't want them to be too dependent on you, right? You want them to feel safe, knowing that you are there, maybe at a distance, but they also are able to be independent, to build their confidence that it's okay, I'll play, I might fall, I might hurt myself, but I know, this person is there for me. This person is going to be there when I get hurt or when I get scared. I can tell them and they'll still be my safety in this environment.
It is. And speaking about feeling safety within this environment, this all relates to behavior.
Right.
So I guess the next question is that, what is behavior therapy? Because a lot of people associate therapy with trying to fix something, but behavior is something innate, right? So in terms of, in very simple terms, what is behavior therapy?
So behavior is anything a person engages in, and in behavior therapy, throughout my experience, what I've learned is that in behavior therapy, we're teaching individuals to access learning and develop. We're teaching skills. A big important of what behavior therapy is that we're not trying to fix something, we're trying to teach skills. If a child is, engaging in a tantrum or is engaging in any particular disruptive behavior, it's because they don't have particular skills. one of them is communication. And what we do in behavior therapy is focus on communication, emphasize on the fact that a child at this age can use their words to access what they need. We focus on play skills as well, because playing is a big part of childhood and development. So those are things that we really focus on in behavior therapy.
And in terms of behavioral therapy, let's say a child has a sudden rush of really big emotions that they don't really know how to handle. Like, how would you approach them, especially with them being at such a young age? It's a little bit tricky to talk to them, and properly educate them about what they're feeling. So you have to, use analogies, use metaphors. So how would you prepare them for these kind of big emotions?
Just allow for an open space for them to express. If they're not able to express it because they don't understand what emotion they're feeling, label it for them and educate them. This particular emotion would look like this. You would physically feel it in your tummy, or you would feel it in your head. And then slowly, walk them through those bigger emotions. And it is very important to also help them understand that when you feel this emotion, this is what you can do. You can always come and talk to me, so they always feel that safety, but also giving them strategies of what they can do when that emotion just comes up for them.
It is. And speaking about all these emotions, families as well, especially during these times, they feel a lot of anxieties, because for a lot of people, this is something new to all of us.
Correct.
The emotions that we're feeling, the anxiety, the stress we're feeling, as a unanimous group, as a shared collection of people, it's really new. We don't know how to deal with it. So how would the family environment as a whole, try to deal with this in terms of behavioral, analysis and stuff?
Right. So when we're trying to navigate things with kids, a very important step is for the adults to take care of themselves first. Because, when we go on a plane, the first thing they say is put the oxygen mask on yourself first before helping, the child. So that is what I would want to advise parents to do at home. Try to calm themselves down. I know uncertainty in those times is a big emotion, and we don't know how to navigate those things, but trying to create a routine for us as adults to try to support our mental health, our anxieties, have them a little bit under control, and then try to navigate the environment better with our kids. When we feel safe, when we're less anxious, we are able to help our kids. And kids can mirror the emotions that parents are showing at home. If a parent is extra anxious or scared, or is having certain anxieties that are showing up, a child can mirror that because they don't understand this emotion. So they would be like, oh, my mom is scared, so I should be scared. So an initial step would be for us as adults is to do something that can help us calm down, whether it's working out, whether it's doing yoga, whether it's breathing techniques, I don't know, having a hearty breakfast in the morning, just something to help us as adults to calm down in order for us to navigate our child's, time and engage them with us.
And I do love how you brought the idea that children mirror their parents' feelings. With that being said, should parents show their feelings to children during these very extraordinary, circumstances? Like, should parents show their children their fears and anxieties so they can know the gravity of the situation, or shouldn't parents just let them, be in their own bubble because, they should be sheltered from all of these kind of situations?
Right, so there isn't a, one context that fits all.
Yeah.
Again, you would want to navigate what the child already knows. You don't want to hide things, you don't want to lie to them, but controlling your own emotions. So if you're feeling a big emotion coming up for you as a parent, maybe don't show it to your child, because how would you explain it to your child? I am extra anxious, I'm extra scared. Yeah. Try to navigate those emotions first, and then when the child is asking you questions like, why were you crying? And you could explain to them in a language that is child appropriate. You don't want to use big terms, you don't want to over explain things that they might not understand, but you want to bring it to their knowledge that, yes, I am scared because I am not going to my work anymore, I'm working from home. But you know what? it is okay, because there are people out there that are helping us, they're making sure we're safe, so we are gonna get better. And just try to always provide solutions, provide a positive outcome that the child can be also assured with.
Yeah, I do love how positivity can always be the cure to all things, right? Especially when it comes to the safety of our mental well-being. I do want to ask you about something, the behavioral therapy. Is it something, you know, I don't want to use the word easier, but is it more accessible for young children as opposed to adults? Because in my, you know, uneducated mind, adults have years of build-up behavior, but young ones, children, they don't understand their behavior. So it's like two different equations. So is it accessible to both, you know, groups of people, or is one group more difficult than the other in terms of behavioral therapy?
So behavior therapy is accessible for all ages, and when it comes to behavior therapy, it is building skills, developing a routine, and building on positive reinforcement. For us as adults, when we're trying to go on a particular diet or quit smoking, for example, we are engaging in principles that are supported by behavior therapy. The reason it is easier, I would say, with kids is because, like you mentioned, there are less years of gap you're trying to fill in and teach skills, whereas with adults, they're a little harder to motivate, a little harder to try to, you know, work towards a positive reinforcement schedule with them, right? But it's accessible for all ages.
I mean, that's always good to know, right?
Yeah.
Because some people, and I know from my personal friends who have, I would say, some behaviors that are a little bit unfriendly, you know, nas khaisin, as we say in Arabic. I'm like, you know, why don't you go and seek help? They're like, oh, it's too late, khalas taf. I'm like, no, you can always get help. You can always get, you know, betterment. With that being said, I do want to give you the platform for one last question, that during these special times, what would you say to parents to deal with their kids? You know, not in terms of behavior and stress, in terms of anything, just to make them calm, right?
Right, so because right now there's a little bit of uncertainty, there's a mix-up in our routines. A lot of our kids are doing schools from home. They're not able to go out as much. They're not able to go and see their friends as much because of, you know, certain things that are happening outside. So try to develop a routine and don't feel pressured to have a routine. Spending more quality time with your kid, asking them for what would make them feel better at this point, right? What sort of games, what sort of activities they would like to engage in, and just try to be there for them. Try to listen to their emotions and understand that them having outbursts or them feeling not okay at the time being is not because they're being naughty or they're trying to make things harder. It's just those routines are mixed up for our kids as well, just like for us as adults. So, you know, just trying to support and navigate those those circumstances with our kids better.
Yeah, and I do love how, in terms of dealing with children, the answer is always listen to them, which is unfortunately, you know, not a lot of parents do. So I guess this is a great message to end the conversations, that listen to your kids, right? Listen to what they're saying, listen to what they're feeling, listen to everything. But with that being said, I do want to thank you for being our guest today. Very much thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And dear viewers, thank you as well. That was, of course, our guest, Nour Kaafarani, qualified behavior analyst. We are going to take a break, so stay tuned.